welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about something that I've been having to deal with for basically a month now. If you notice that my head isn't turning very much, or I'm not making a lot of expressions with my face, it's all because of this. It's all connected, and it has been very uncomfortable to do a lot of things involving this region lately, and this region too. So just bear with me. Thank you so much. Also, I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of editing at all in this chat. I'm really sorry. We'll leave the stickers and stuff maybe to next week, but I will be linking information about what we're talking about below in case you'd like to know more. There's honestly not a lot out there that I have come to find, unfortunately. So that's one reason that I wanted to share this with you guys today, because if you are experiencing it and don't know that you are, if you know someone who is, and they need more information or just don't want to feel so alone, that's what today is all about. And also, if you guys end up feeling this way in the future, at least you know what's going on and you can get the help you need pronto. So that's what today is all about. In case you don't know me, I'm an actress and speaker. I also have post-traumatic stress disorder. I am not a mental health care professional or a healthcare professional or a scientist for that matter, given the topic of today. What I am is an expert in my own situation and what works for me. And my hope is that by sharing all the stuff that we talk about on this channel, that it'll help you just like it's helped me and so many others. So the topic for today is something called SIRVA. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It stands for shoulder injury related to vaccine administration, and that is exactly what appears to have occurred with me. When I got my first COVID vaccination on April 10th, the way, what I've been told, and based on where it was put in my arm, that caused my nerve to apparently get hit and become injured. And the fallout from that has been very intense and overwhelming. It's the best way I can put it. Basically, what occurred was leading up to the vaccine, I have been pretty cautious about it. Even as soon as they started talking about a vaccine like a year ago, I was very cautious and apprehensive about it because I knew they would try to expedite it. They would try to accelerate the creation of it, or multiple ones, and that made me very wary. The reason I decided to get it is because a few reasons. One is the known issues relating to COVID are very present, and the world has been rocked by this thing. I know of 15 people through other people, one person removed, who have passed away from COVID. And I know one other person who is in the ICU and is a long hauler. So we don't yet know the long-term effects of getting COVID. Because I know a lot of people that got it who didn't have extreme things happen to them, thank God. But we also don't know the long-term effects of having had COVID. So to me, after weighing all of that, not wanting to unknowingly spread it, wanting to help open up the economy, not put more pressure on the healthcare system, you know, all that stuff, I decided for me personally that getting the vaccine was what I wanted to do. And so I prepared physically. I didn't take ibuprofen ahead of time or anything like that. Not that I would have. I also prepared my stress and anxiety. I really tried to anticipate how I might feel. I tried to be very present throughout the whole thing to make sure that I wasn't panicking. I didn't, create symptoms that were stress related, but also mimic health emergencies and stuff like that. I was very proactive. As usual, especially if you're doing things like planning a wedding or something, if any of you out there have done that, I think you know what I'm about to say. No matter what you plan for, the one thing you don't anticipate is the one thing that happens, right? So that was me with this. We show up, I get the shot. I'm not looking because I don't want to panic about that either. And when I go to move my arm, it is totally numb. And I freaked out. Like, that was a moment in time where I reacted instead of responded. I mean, I wasn't like mean or anything, but you know, we talked about that last chat. Hello. And I absolutely reacted. I had panic. My heart rate was up and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't feel my arm and blah, 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 blah. So we'll go into that in one of the next few videos that I post, but just to keep this one short, basically my arm went numb and I was told to just work through it. Just use my arm. It'll be fine in a few days. And if not, see your healthcare professional. It's all good. Well, I ended up doing that. And I ended up filming one of the previous chats that I posted, I'll link that below, after this occurred. And even though my hand was numb, my arm was numb, I was still using it because I thought I was supposed to. And literally by that night, I was in the sling and I have not used my arm since. It affected it so greatly. And so it's been almost a month now since it occurred, since I haven't been able to use my arm, since I have had to basically stay in one position until a couple days ago. I can now sit up, but honestly, other than standing, laying down in the supine position has been my only level of comfort that I've been able to have throughout this entire thing. It's been so sensitive. And I started PT last week, and that was when I was starting, I began to notice slight changes in my comfort level expanding a little bit. I can now twist a little bit. I can now reach across my body a little bit, but not too much. Twisting, pulling, lifting, pushing, anything like that with either hand has been difficult because, and I don't do it with this arm at all now, but with this one, it would actually trigger the nerve. And that seems to be what happens. So basically, shoulder injury relating to vaccine administration, SIRVA, is when it's administered incorrectly. And I will post a video below about how to do it correctly, because I did end up going back for my second vaccine. I did it with my left arm and it's totally fine. But I was panicked about that. Honestly, I mean, I had to really stop and just listen to how I felt about that. And I felt like it would be okay. It would be a good decision for me. So I went ahead and did it. But when I showed up, I was self-advocating like you wouldn't believe. I had watched the video about how to properly administer a vaccine. And I said to everyone that I met in line, I was like, do you know how to do it right? Do you know how to do it right? And the woman that finally gave it to me, I explained what happened. All of them were shocked because this is a very rare thing. And there's not a lot of info out there about this. Some professionals haven't even heard of it. But the woman that gave it to me, I said, you know how to do it right, correct? Correct? Do you know how to do it correctly, right? Whatever. And she said yes. And I pointed to where to put it. She pointed to where to put it. She did it. I'm fine. Thank God, literally. And so that would be just a little quick thing that I would suggest is self-advocate. You know, that's one reason I wanted to do this chat today, is because even though I am freaking fatigued, my brain cannot work. I am exhausted, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I wanted to make this for you guys in case you haven't gotten your vaccines fully yet, or we have more vaccines in the future, etc. Because making sure the person that's giving it to you, and it was a nurse that gave me my first shot, making sure they know what to do and how to do it is so important. Don't be afraid to self-advocate and make sure they know where to put it. Point to it. Make sure they point to it. Because if it's too high, too low, too forward, too backwards, that can cause this. Now, really quickly about the prognosis, I haven't been able to get into a neurologist yet because, as usual, in at least America, trying to get in an appointment with a specialist can take forever. And that is exactly what has occurred here. Now, I was able to find a neurologist able to get me in next week, but the following one isn't until June. And most neurologists that I called could not get me in until late June or early July. And so I do have an appointment next week, but that is when we will actually start to figure out what exactly happened. Because right now, all that my primary care doctor has been able to do and the PT has been able to do is focus on decreasing the inflammation around the nerve, hoping that that can help. But I will probably need an MRI, and the prognosis may, mean that depending on how damaged the nerve is, it can take a while to heal. Maybe it won't take a while to heal. And it can mean a few other things as well, like surgery and stuff. But I have upped my B vitamin intake with food and vitamins. I hate saying the word vitamins. At home, I say vitamins just because it's easier to say. But for the purposes of this chat, I'll say vitamins. But yeah, that actually caused me to not feel very good here. It's been very difficult to talk, to smile, to swallow, because everything's connected. Luckily, like I said, it is feeling a little bit better, but I am still not able to use my arm. And it has been a very emotional experience for me, especially with that stress and anxiety. I've called them surprise cries, like I shared with you guys that it's really hard for me to cry when it comes to myself, not other people, but when it comes to myself. And I have cried so much, especially the first few weeks. I think just because I wasn't thinking about it, it just was. I was just having water come out of my face at random. And I think I was grieving the loss of the loss of being able to go out again, because honestly, I have not been able to move really much at all. My ability to do anything has not, it's just been so greatly diminished, and having to rely on Nick to be mainly my left and right arm has been very difficult for me too, because I didn't realize until this, but I'm a doer, I'm a mover, I'm a tidier. I use my body a lot around the house. I'm a couch potato, but I also do a lot, and having to accept that in order for me to heal, I actually have to do less. I actually have to allow someone else to take care of me in ways that I know I can do. Grieving that and grieving the held back feeling, which is something that I never want to feel, but it's been a lifetime of me feeling held back. That has been very upsetting to me, and not being able to push through, because I'm one of those people where I'm going to walk through it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go if it's mental and emotional. But when it comes to the physical stuff, if you've had an injury, you know that in order for your body to heal, you have to allow it to heal. And I've been doing okay the past couple of weeks in terms of like the crying and stuff. That's another chat we'll talk about coming up soon. And I would have to say, despite everything, the fact that I can't work right now, the fact that all I do is lay or sit or stand in the same position, and just trying to still live my life despite what's going on, and dealing with the moments of panic and the fear, especially early on when everything was so new. That has been so hard for me. And I'm not just saying this because I'm on a YouTube channel and you're supposed to feel blessed or whatever, but I do. I really, really do. I think a lot of that has to do with that stress and anxiety stuff that we talk about, those stress hacks, that mindset, that accessing rational thinking, that responding instead of reacting, and really continuing to be thankful for everything that my life is. That has helped me to stay buoyant and not get sucked down and not see the negative as much, because it's there, but I'm just so much more able to focus on the positive and believe the positive. And we'll talk about that in the future, but I am so thankful that that's been sort of my default, And it's taken work. It's still taking work. Oof. And it's also just, of course, opened my eyes up to people that have challenges like this even more. It's one thing to sympathize with someone and to care. It's another thing to be able to empathize, right? And so I have a lot more respect for people that have challenges like this for sure. And if that's you, mwah, sending you extra love today. So anyway, I'm going to be, I'm shy on social media if you haven't noticed. Oof, but I'm going to be trying to share my journey a little bit more on social media with you guys, just giving you updates and in between chats. So feel free to follow me there or, check out those channels or social media, whatever. Check those out if you'd like to follow me a little bit more on this journey. One of the things that I've gotten is this dress. I don't usually wear stuff like this, but it's an easy on-off thing. So not trying to look fresh or anything. But anyway, I will post more information below. I will keep you guys updated on this. I'll also be sharing with you guys all the stuff that I've had to buy, all of the shifts and changes that we've had to make in case you do end up going through this at some point in your life. Even though it's extremely rare, it can happen. I did not want to do this chat today because I am so tired. I am so tired and I'm not comfortable. But thank you for tuning in with me today. And I hope that this has helped you understand or prepare for stuff in the future. And I did get my second vaccine right before we go, and my arm is cool. Peachy keen. Mwah, sending you all the love. Send me the vibes, all the healing vibes. All right, bye guys.